If you want to score in the top 1% for your competitive exam, then you've come to the right place. I'm Salim, I'm a med student, and I've done over 10,000 questions to score in the top 1% for my UK med school admissions test. And I'll tell you the 3 things you need to do to ace your exam. So the first is something I want to show you from when I did my admissions test for med school in the UK. When I went through practice questions and mock exams, I typed up every mistake I made and every pattern I saw in the questions, and I made sure to go through them at least once every few days. And what you need to do from this is understand why you go wrong. Because one of the most important things to realize with any of these admissions tests, whether it's the NEET, GE, UCAT or others, is that even if the questions you get in your real exam are different to the questions you've practiced, the technique and pattern recognition you need is the same. And you might get a lot wrong to begin with, which is why most students move on to the next subject without going over their mistakes. But this is what stops them from scoring higher marks. So make sure you fully understand your mistakes in the questions you're doing by searching that content online or watching videos to understand better. This is going to help you recognize patterns in questions that you didn't even know existed, so that you can deal with the time pressure in these exams and maximize your marks. Now, a big mistake students make when they prepare for competitive exams is that they don't follow a structure when they learn, which slows down the progress in their study sessions. But there is an easy solution to this, and that's making sure to learn from the right resources. And there's a correct way to do this. The first thing is to look at your syllabus. NEET, GE and others all have a syllabus, and everything in the syllabus can be examined. But this is a good thing, because that means you don't have to guess what comes up, since the syllabus is more or less everything you need to know. And the correct way to go through the syllabus is to make sure you learn everything, including the diagrams, which students tend to skip, because diagrams usually have the information of the page condensed into the key details, and that's most likely to come up in your exam. And to help you learn, use scientifically proven methods like active recall and spaced repetition. I have a video on this, and it can make sure that you won't forget what you learn. One thing is that my admissions test didn't really have a syllabus, and if yours doesn't either, this is where the first point of the video of understanding your mistakes really helps, because learning the patterns that come up in questions helps you realize what you should focus on as part of your personalized syllabus. So now that you have reliable learning material, I'd actually say to somewhat do the opposite for practice questions, because with questions, as well as doing any official mock exams, make sure to use a variety of resources. This is because even though your exam might cover the same content as in the syllabus, it won't have the same questions as in the past papers. The way they ask questions is going to be different, and that's going to change how you need to think about the answer. So if you do practice questions from different sources, you gain the experience to answer questions in different styles, so that you won't get stuck in the exam when you have a question worded in a way that's new to you. And you can easily find a range of questions by searching the internet and checking the websites that come up. I did over 10,000 questions for my admissions test, and this is what helped me reliably get questions right, even if they were in a completely new style. These exams don't just assess how much you know, they also assess how good you are at understanding questions, so the more you do, the better you get. But the next problem is that preparing for these exams is very tiring, and on top of school or uni, it becomes difficult for you to study consistently. So in this video here, I talk about a method that can help you study even when you feel tired. So click the video to learn more.